Any young lad growing up who played with a car, a toy car, remote control, Hot Wheels, whatever these things were, had aspirations of driving fast and had a thought of being a racing driver. But realistically, the chances are minimal.
3, 2, 1, go! Whoa! That was a messy start.
I was never going to be an F1 driver, not because of my driving ability. I'm not saying I'd been good enough. I'm 6'4", I'm 16 stone. I can't fit in a car. And then doing this job, it seems that the possibilities are becoming endless.
But I've got 2 days before I go for my test. It's brilliant, but at the same time, I'm aware that I put myself under quite a bit of pressure here.
I want to impress Chris a little bit as well, to be honest. I want him to think that I can drive. Don't care what Paddy thinks. But Chris, yeah. And to have the opportunity, it was just, yes, I'm in. I don't know what my expectations were. One of the problems I find myself having at times is I get an opportunity to do something I've never done before, or a sport, and for some reason I convince myself that I can be the best at this. My ambition outweighs my ability in everything I do.
Catch it if you need to, catch it. Ah! So close.
Getting in a car, being in road cars on track, and that's one thing, and you go around there you just drive it pretty much like you drive on the roads, but a bit quicker. But it's like retraining, learning how to drive a race car on a racetrack, finding the limits of the car. You know, the limits of the car always seem to be further than my limits. It was me backing off first to begin with, then the car would. So I've got to find that.
Raise the power, start to wind the steering off. Go, go, go.
It's all that precision, not making mistakes. I make so many mistakes in my life, and I think one of my skills is getting out of them. You know, the sport I used to play, cricket, you concentrate for 2 seconds at any time and you switch off. Racing driving, you just keep going round and round and round. And I also thought, like a lot of people, when it comes to race driving, a bit ignorantly, fastest car wins, we're all in different cars. You know, give me a fast car, I'll do this. And I've got a newfound respect for racing drivers. And frustratingly, I've got a newfound respect for Chris Harris, which I'll tell you, like, and you can watch this, I'll never tell him to his face, never. Just say this has been CGI'd.
This is a technical little bit, you've got to get an apex, sacrifice a bit in the middle, then get wide open as soon as possible.
So for me, the first point was going to the track at Blyton, driving the Ginetta, seeing where I was at, but then the goalposts and the bar's always moving. So then Chris turns up, he puts a lap down, I've got to get close to his lap, so I'm chasing that. Then I start getting a bit closer, I get a bit faster, then you plateau, and it's how do I get through this next bit? Then after that, I've got to go and take my test. And then once I got my licence, which was a relief, it's then been on a track with 30 other cars, which I've never experienced, and they're coming in from different angles, and I'm a novice.
Cars everywhere. Come on, go on, off you go. I'll let you. Whoa, you. He was giving me nothing, that lad.
There's noises everywhere, there's cars everywhere, there's people milling around, everyone's talking about racing and cars, and as much as I love them, that's not me. There's looking at data all the time. I'm not data driven. You know, I view sport as an art with science. We're sport now, and especially motor racing, seems to be like a science with a bit of art. And that's not me. There's just so much going on, and you've got to put it all together, having had not very much experience. I had to get in that competitive place that I used to have when I played sport, and it doesn't happen very often. And although I knew I couldn't win the race, for me a win was not embarrassing myself, getting up to pace with everyone else, and I think I did it.
Hanging on there, jeez! That was the fastest I've taken that.
And I've said it a few times that competition, it scares me a little bit now, in the fact that it does bring out the best in me. It makes me feel sharp, it makes me feel alive. You know, it's like, probably the best way to describe it is in cricket terms, when I used to walk out to bat and you experience things you never experienced. You know, the closer I got to the wicket, the more excited I got, and my eyes got sharper, my senses heightened, and then the closer and closer, but then you get these nerves. And nerves are only bad because someone's told you they're bad. For me, it was like, this is telling me I'm ready, I'm good for this. And I stand there and he'd run into bowl, and as he gets closer like a fast bowler, everything just starts getting better. Everything's sharper, and it's like just in you go. And I got that for a little bit in the car. You know, I did feel like that, but obviously in a very different surrounding. But the reason it scares me competition is that I'd have done anything to win. Anything. And it brings out the best in me, but it brings out the worst. I don't want people to see the worst me. You know, not now, they've seen it before, like teammates and things. Well, no, I'm too old for that. I'm nearly 44.
2:05. That's amazing. That's perfect. That's his best lap by 2 seconds. Another 2 seconds, yeah.
It's given me a bug to race again, definitely. I definitely would love to do it again.